All right. Okay. All right. I just like the music. It just sets the tone. I don't know. That's just me. My name's Elaine. Some people call me Stock Mom, and I'm letting Vanessa do the intro today.
Y'all are funny. Hello, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Stockhouse University's Premarket show, hosted by Elaine Adams, as seen on Benzinga, which she will be on tonight at 7. I'm Vanessa, and I'm here to just soak up some love. Um, I will start off with a quote, and then I'll pass the mic back over to Elaine. My quote is: "Games are won by players who focus on the playing field, not by those whose eyes." Sorry, guys, I got a call. Games are won by the players whose focus on the playing field, not by those whose eyes are glued to the scoreboard. That's by Warren Buffett. You guys focus on the game. And that's my piece.
Okay. Um. Yeah. I'll just kind of say the one thing that we definitely have to say before everything, which is none of us are giving out financial advice. As a matter of fact, we are against people giving out financial advice on this platform. But what we will do is tell you about our trades, what we've got going on, and I hope that helps everybody make their way through the market and not lose no money. Hey, you guys remember back in the day when someone came on here, like this is a long time ago, and they were like, I would buy Apple at 138. Apple's just going to go to the moon. Apple, 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 Apple. And I was like, yo, you got to watch that dip because you don't know if it's not done dipping yet. That should be my quote of the day, but it is not. My quote of the day is: I'm an extremely, extremely persistent person. Extremely. And when I believe I am right and it is important, I will go to the end of the earth. This quote is by Bill Ackman, our Lord and Savior. And my trading style and my life in general is all about having conviction, the conviction to push myself, to achieve, succeed, and validate these ideas. I really, really, really think it's important in trading to have your own conviction. I always say, like, even if Jesus Christ came down from heaven and gave me a stock, I would still do my own due diligence. This market right now is a fucking testing ground. Where we're at in the chart is extremely crucial. The inflation numbers and the amount of things that your money will buy is also at risk right now. Um, I wish we could have a whole room and conversation about it, and not even do the morning show in some ways, because it's actually that crucial and important. I'm sure other rooms are talking about it. I am concerned. And when we talk about energy prices, I'm concerned. When we talk about what's going on outside of America, I'm pretty concerned. I think so many are concerned about what's going on with the Fed and tapering. Anyways, this is a time to have strong conviction in your theory, theses, the stocks, and to be choosing things for a really good reason. And that reason, for me at least, has to be more than, oh, it's in a growing industry. There are many growing industries. There are many dope stocks. I mean, there are many dope companies, but not all of them make good stocks at every time, right? How many times have so many of us been sitting in fucking PLTR and just like, oh man, I don't understand why it's not going up. I don't understand. This thing is undervalued. It doesn't matter, right? It's still going to wait till it wants to move, until the social sentiment hits a certain place, or until people really understand the vision. And with that said, profitability till 2025 is a long ways out to just be dumping money into a thing. Anyway, sorry to turn this into a whatever a rant, but conviction is something that's really important to me. Good morning, Chris. Uh, do you have a shorter quote than I do?
Yeah, absolutely, guys. So my quote is actually going to be a little short, but it's gonna require some participation, and it's just because we don't engage with you guys enough, and I want it to be a little bit more engaging. So, by a show of hands, who actually has started to be able to trade commodities or be able to identify sectors a little bit better since they've started joining the show. If you guys could just raise your hands or flash your mics from the crowd anywhere to kind of show us, okay, all right, cool. Yeah, we're liking that. Me too. I'm thinking I'm getting a lot better. It's thanks to a lot of the people that surround me on a daily basis. Thank you, Elaine. Zev's not here. Ben's not here with this. Alec, Shavam, everybody contributes to how we become better as a unit. My quote today is going to be from Bill Belichick. On a team, it's not the strength of the individual players, but it's the strength of the unit and how they all function together.
That's dope.
Good one.
It's a great one.
I also wanted to say Marcus. You almost threw me off. I was like, is that Marcus or Marcus with the truck? And if you weren't right next to Marcus with the truck, Marcus, you're gonna have to give us a lap in or something. Oh, it's done. Okay, cool.
I'm gonna
Fair
change it now.
enough. I just, you were like secret agent man for a second.
Because behind the scenes, Chris says Marcus with the truck.
We all say Marcus with the truck. That's not. It's just key. Um, Good morning, Tuan. Do you have a quote for us today?
Yes, yes. I have a quote. Make room for what you pray for because it's on the way. Got to stay positive and stay focused. We all done had our ups and downs this year, but it's all gonna turn around. You got to manifest it. You got to want it. You got to put it out there in the universe. Stay focused, y'all.
Good morning, Marcus without a truck.
Good morning, everyone. I was going to echo real quick what Chris said, and I just had this conversation with Vanessa yesterday. I really want to thank Elaine and everybody that's helped me take a different look at these commodities. I've been in corn and cane, and it's just killing it. And right now, pre-market, they're doing great, as well as just other ETFs and sectors. So thank you so much. My quote comes from actually Peter Lynch, and it's kind of timely. Far more money has been lost by investors trying to anticipate corrections than lost in corrections themselves. So I thought that was kind of timely itself.
Wait, one more time? Hold
Yeah,
on, hold on, hold on.
far more money has been lost by investors trying to anticipate corrections than lost in the corrections themselves.
Yo, that's brilliant, Marcus. I agree. I
Peter
totally
Lynch.
agree.
Peter Lynch. Yeah.
Oh man. All right. I'm so into this. Let's talk about the futures real quick because I think you're just like leading us right into it. This is the music I play when I'm pulling up the charts. This is my chart pulling music. All right, they're down. I mean, and that's the catch, right? I okay. So earlier this week on Monday, I said, I'm not really concerned. I expect a pullback. Well, if we break under 13,400 on the NASDAQ charts, maybe I might start to get a little concerned. We've got some room to go down, to be honest. And we definitely smashed through that first thing on Monday. uh, Tuesday, we also had a very, very large pullback, and then midday, to early morning kind of recovery that happened. And I said, well, you know what? This is pretty key. We're coming right back into this supply zone that I'm happy to see us in. And then today we got some core inflation numbers, and boom, right back down to earth, uh, underneath our 200-day moving average. Um, I don't enjoy this chart. And this is giving me potential to look to the downside. I think we're kind of in a downtrend. We've had about a month of straight down weeks, and regardless of the day, there's something to think about here. So yesterday we closed at 13,177. Right now, we are sitting at 13,100. Oh, right, it's the futures. Sorry, we closed at 13,300, and now we're opening up 13,190, 1.16% down from yesterday's close. This is pretty significant. I think yesterday, when I was looking at it first thing in the morning, we were almost 2% down. That's pretty drastic. That's the entire amount I expect. Like the Nasdaq to move in a single day is 2%. 3%. Like these 4% days are huge, huge candles. Um, and the real question is why, when can we expect an end to it, and how do we prepare and plan for something like this, right? So just looking at where we're at right now, honestly, the next level that I'm looking at is like 12,760, right? We're sitting at 13,190 or something like that right now. And this is prompted in some ways by and I know that this is in the future, right? But thinking about Fed's tapering, two, primarily thinking about inflation, and then three, institutional sentiment around growth stocks. We talk so much about retail sentiment and how the people on the street are feeling, but when you see candles this large, this isn't just people on the street. Like this is everybody feeling a certain sort of way and looking for something, and the chart is screaming it at us. Looking at the S&P futures, um, sort of a similar story, however, much less drastic. We're down about half a percentage point from yesterday. And yesterday we closed at 4,139. Today we're sitting at 4,000 right now, 4,124. Yesterday we bounced to the 410 level, and already we've kind of gone a little bit below that. So breaking key supports yet again. It's not nearly as deep, but still seeing SPY under 410 kind of says, all right, well, now I'm looking towards the 400 level for support, and just to wonder if we're going to continue to have a sell off, which so far we're having a pretty decent down week right now. And I wonder what it's going to take to see that week go up, other than like better employment numbers, and less inflation, less input costs on energy, less input costs on our basic commodities. But the commodities trade is still piping hot, and this is like the risk necessarily, right? So it's not to say that we can't make money. The market's not good, but overall, I am kind of feeling a little bit more to the downside after seeing this like 3 day trend that's starting to start here. Um, and I mean, look at the Russell. The small caps are getting beat on, down 1.25% on the day. And right now we're at 2,175, below our 200-day moving average, right? Like we've consolidated in this 2,200 to 2,300 range for months at this point. And don't get me wrong, we could easily just come down to the 2,000 level, and it would still not be a big deal, but it would be a larger retracement than we historically have done in the past 2 months. That's all. So for a lot of things, I'm looking to the downside, to be honest. And another one of those things is Bitcoin. Since we talk about crypto now, Bitcoin dominance has been waning. We're seeing kind of a lot of frothiness in the crypto market in general. It's altcoin freaking season, you guys. Anything that sounds like a Doge on the Ethereum chain is getting bought up and making people extremely, extremely rich. And I'm not against it at all. I've been trading stuff on the Ethereum blockchain. We had a room yesterday about crypto. I think we're gonna do that like every week now. And Chris is gonna help me make it accessible and fun and stuff. But anyways, Bitcoin dominance is waning. Looking to the downside on that as well. I'm not saying it's gonna drop, but we've been consolidating in this $55,000 region, and the question is like, what is it gonna take for us to break out and move up to that next leg? And part of that is dominance, and Bitcoin dominance, in my opinion, will not happen while people are becoming multimillionaires off of Dogecoin. That's like something to consider. So, and then last but not least, Ethereum. Ethereum futures are at 4,300. We saw some like a pretty serious dip, and we've seen some pretty serious pullbacks. But the fact that it's been holding over 4,000 and actually making serious legs up is nice. I don't know what that says for our gas fees, because this is showing that people are buying and people are using this blockchain at a high level. However, there we go. If you were looking for the crypto that is kind of has the largest market cap, that has had the strongest uptrend over the year, this is the one so far. There are many other ones, but this would be the winner today. And that's just me looking back and not me predicting anything about the future. Uh, with that said, anybody else have anything to say about the futures, or do you want to talk about oil, Chris?
Yeah, I'm ready. So the first thing that I have to do when we talk about oil is admit when I'm wrong. So on Sunday, I was calling out like, yeah, it's time to trade oil. It's time to trade oil. And guys, I lost us 80% of that trade if you followed me into that trade. So I apologize. I completely gauged this thing wrong. Elaine helped bring it to my attention that we do have to account for inflation. And so let's get into it. That being said, I am still holding. At this point, I'm down so much that it can go to zero. I did only put like $250 on it, but I was trying to make like $750 to $1,000 on the trade. That's what I was thinking. Obviously, we're not there. We're nowhere near there. Um, but anyway, yeah, American oil set to drop again this year. And it's because we've been running, right? And we have been running. Now, granted, we do have the supply cut, but what does that necessarily mean, right? With the Colonial Pipeline being shut down, does that mean that Chevron or any of the other bigger oil producers are no longer producing oil? No, it doesn't mean that at all. They're still producing that. Now, the demand is going up, yes, and there's an issue with the supply, but there's no issue with the suppliers, if that makes sense. And so that's why we kind of have the range that we're trading in now. So anyway, let me go back to my chart. I was looking at something else for a second there. Um, but that being said, we are ticking up a little bit because we have seen the demand issue come into play, right? I don't know if anybody else is having this issue, but there's no gas near me within a 15-mile radius in Atlanta. Like you literally have to drive far outside of the city to get gas to the point where I don't know if I'm going to move outside of my home for the next 2 or 3 days just to, conserve the half a tank that I have left. Um, so that being said, in the chart, we are sitting at 69.40 on the Brent side of things and 64.18 on the WTI side of things. Um, Sorry, I don't know why my chart wants to womp out. Okay, there we go. All right, so um, it's really good because to see that uptrend, but we knew it was going to happen at some point. I just expected it to be greater, and of course that didn't quite work out. We had a high of 69.51. I'd like us to break 70. I thought we'd be well over 70 by now, but I'd like to see us hold at that 70 range, especially because of what's going on. There's so many different catalysts, especially with SPY going down. That still could have this trade work out for us by the end of the week, um, especially with like I said, with the pipeline backup and the pure demand. Now on the supply side, the only thing that's really shut down for us is here U.S. locally, but we do kind of have to account for what's going on in Israel as well, right? They're one of the biggest producers, and their political banter has gone into damn near a war. I think they got missile strikes yesterday. I didn't read all the way into it. If anybody wants to, fact check me on that. Uh, all I know is it's very bad, and right now the markets are tanking because of it. I know Trump stepped in to say something about how he felt, how poorly the Biden administration was acting on it, and that it never would have come to this if he was still in office. And there's a lot of political banter going on right now that also are concerning the dip in the market, but the rise in commodities where people are putting their money. So, like I said, on the Brent side of things, I'd like us to see us hold that $70 range today, between 70 and 70.10. Um, and then on the WTI side of things, if we can hold over 66.40, then I think we can hit that 66.80 type range. I think we are on a trend up for today, and I don't think it's going to pull back. OPEC has already gotten what they had to say out of the way, as far as what they've been saying all year. And I've been saying, that's their story. They're sticking to it. They have no plans to um, extend the output. So that's just where we stand. Um, yeah, 8:53. So I'm actually a little bit early. Um, did you want to add anything on that, Tolan?
Yep, inflation numbers came in. They're fucking high. That's what I wanted to talk about. Like, it's a really really significant jump in inflation versus last month. That's the fucking thing. So last month we had like gasoline jump to 22.5%. That all of our energy things just were up in terms of the percentage, whatever the percentage of inflation. the the effectiveness of your dollar dropped by that much in terms of gas and energy. right? And yeah, it's up again. It's up a lot. It's gasoline up 49.6%, used cars and trucks up 21%, fuel oil 37%. I mean, overall, a 4.2% increase. This is it's sorry, and the market forecast was 3.6%. It is really significant. And last month was somewhat significant too. But if we're just looking at the trend and way this thing has gone on, so like if we're talking about January it was 1.4%, and then February it went to 1.7. These are reasonable raises and drops. I am I'm surprised.
Yeah, but
uh,
Elaine, look at the year on year as well. That 4.2 is up by is the highest since 2008. That's a pretty big deal. I mean, granted, obviously, this is kind of somewhat justified by it being transitory,
uh-huh.
but that jump is high, and like we haven't seen that type of a leap, as I say, since 2008. So it is a big deal.
It's a huge deal. This is significant, and it's going to have effects on the price. It reflects the effects of kind of what Chris is talking about. It reflects our trade deficit. It reflects a lot of things, to be honest. And like Suki was saying, yeah, it's the jump. It's the jump in it. It's not necessarily that it's the highest it'll ever be, but it's just that this was an extreme. It was a really sharp increase. Um, and like just to kind of go on the other side, um, the Fed, a lot of people have been concerned about the Fed, and saying that the way that they're handling economic recovery in some ways is deleterious because of just printing money, and that money has to be effective in its usage. And we still have it. Fed's been printing, they've been buying bonds, and yet we're still seeing the unemployment issues. Yet we still have kind of like a global economic disaster on our hands. Yet we still have a housing potential bubble on our hands, and it's like what they can't just keep printing money to fix the problem. It has to be managed effectively, and a lot of people's key concerns on this issue were that they wouldn't be able to control the curve. It's not that whatever interest rates weren't supposed to go up. It's not that inflation isn't supposed to happen, but it's uncontrolled inflation. This is pretty rampant, and so it will be interesting to hear what the Fed's response, if any, and the same thing with Biden with his stimulus plans. That will absolutely be this will be a big point of what Republican senators talk about if they're not already screaming it from the rooftops. And like we see stuff like the 10 years is jumping again, right? We've had 4 straight up days on this thing, and they're not necessarily small. We're still sitting at the top of this like 1.65 range, but and I think like a few weeks ago we were almost at 1.8. So, but this is when the market was particularly shaky, and it wasn't an enjoyable place to be necessarily. So, a lot of concerning things on the charts and in economic indicator news. Did anybody else have anything to say on that? I That's totally what I wanted to talk about. All right. But with that said, I really, really think that if you don't have an opinion on core inflation numbers, and you are participating in the market, like this is something to kind of like read up on and really make just a regular part of your understanding. Um, if we do have some sort of large market correction or pullback, it will be based upon stuff like this, and then also like pandemic response of what's going on in India. Like I think those two things are huge. And the inflation side represents all of our supply chain issues that we've seen kind of plague us and cause these problems. Did you guys know that there's still, I'm like a motorcycle person, like there's still a ton of stuff stuck in the Suez Canal because of the stupid Ever Given? Like, this isn't done yet. Like when we talk about global supply chain and these problems, like they don't just get solved, even though maybe the ship's literally not stuck there anymore. Um, yeah, there's issues. So, uh, with that said, I guess should I move on, Chris? What's the next thing?
No, I mean we are gonna reset in 1 minute, just because it's about to be 9 o'clock. But I did want to add, like for me, the whole inflation thing on the side of commodities thing is something that I do need to dive deeper into, and for that reason, like I'm taking today off to kind of dig into that a little bit. So morning, everyone, and welcome to the first place every morning you should stop to get your stock market news. That's right, I'm talking about the morning show presented by Stockhouse University. We are not financial advisors, and this is not financial advice. This is a conversation amongst friends that love talking about stocks and want to improve our profitability by coming here every day, talking about the market, relevant news, and how we're going to use that information to be profitable. We think education should be accessible and affordable to everyone, so we have a free Discord that has tons of resources and over 1,800 amazing members at all different skill levels that are also talking about the market and they're trying to grow as well. We also do free classes on Sundays, and we would love it if you would join the community and contribute because together we are so much more powerful than we are individually. Invite your friends, invite your family. Let's all create opportunities for generational wealth. Also, if you like the conversations that we have here, make sure to click the greenhouse on the top and join the community. We love to continue the conversations, and we would love it if you guys would contribute every time we're on stage, not just in the Stockhouse U family. Thank you.
Yeah, we haven't done trash trays in a really long time, but I haven't taken any trash. Oh
You know
wait,
I'm down.
I do have a
I'm down
trash
to
tray.
I'm down to lead the charge.
Yeah, let's do it. I got a trash tray to take it back. Or maybe we do it too much. I don't know.
No, I don't think we do it too much because I've actually been on a hot streak, and this is the first time in a while that I've completely flopped a trade. So anyway, I flopped on three trades. I was actually holding Oxy, I was holding Apache, I was holding Zom, and to be perfectly honest, the first 15 minutes in the open by like 9:42, 9:43 some of my trades were anywhere between up 60% and 400%. It was just amazing. And I'm like, you know what? And I called you about it. I'm like, you know what? I want to hold this. I think we got to the rest of the week to kind of see these oil prices shoot up. And you were like, and you actually told me, like, yeah, I think you could, but inflation. And you honestly have been telling me that all week. And I held it. And now from 400% up, I am 85% down on all three overall trades. Like I'm like 28% down, and then I'm down 80 something percent, and then 92%. It sucks. It's all bad. So everybody that followed me into the oil trade this week, I am extremely sorry.
Yeah, yeah, that's painful. Okay, I have one, and no, I have one. I made I referenced a person that I told like, hey, like, why are you gonna buy something at its all time high? I've also told people like on the whole ARC thing, I was like, why are you gonna buy something that's we're not sure if the dip is done dipping yet? I always say that, and even I was in the trade all day room. I don't know if you guys go to that. Some people trade all day people are here, and uh, I was talking about my conviction in this Twitter trade. And I was like, fundamentally, I fully believe in this particular trade, and I do. Fundamentally, I don't care. It's way discounted right now, but I definitely hopped in before the dip was done dipping. And for that, I paid, I think, like a 40% haircut on some of those options. I actually started buying equities on it because I was like, I don't even know what the time frame is going to be on these things. And I do have more time on the options, but it's just a tough economic environment right now, and I'm not really willing to whisk it. Also, my stop loss got hit. My stop loss was at 51.90, and it definitely got hit. And shit, we were at 49 yesterday or something like that. So, with that said, me personally, I always look for the technical setup, and this one was a pure fundamental trade. And the thing about doing pure fundamental trades is that you have to add way more time, as opposed to that technical setup because it's either going to break out or it won't. And this one kind of it's just sitting there. And we've been hovering between like 54 and 52. Came down and smashed 49, breaking that $50 barrier. There's no way I'm going along for that ride, regardless of what happens. Like in terms of equities, okay, yeah, I can kind of live there. But in terms of stock options, there's just not a chance in hell. So, yep, I took a haircut on that trade. And I don't know. I'm gonna call it a trash trade.
I will say this. Although I am down on the oil trade, my portfolio is still green because I had a wonderful hedge that went for like almost 300%, and I'm still holding. I was holding the $5 strike for UVXY. If you're looking at it now, thank you God. There's a God out there.
Oh, you hedged in volatility?
Amen.
Amen. I thought you were gonna say your portfolio is still green because that
Oh yeah, my
70K you made on Dogecoin, but
Oh, I mean that. You know what? Let's not talk about that. But yeah, I mean, there's that. But that didn't. That was over the weekend. Like that's not what saved my account this week. Like my account this week and remaining green is all due to a hedge and volatility.
yeah, who'd you learn that from?
Warren Buffett.
Shut up. All right. Well, um, anybody else have a trash trade that they want to share, or a good trade? I'll accept good trades.
I
I'm
had a
in
trash
my
trade.
trash trades. Go for it, Marcus.
I actually about 2 weeks ago saw instability in the tech QQQs, and I was taking a short on it, and was doing great. And when that Friday the 7th hit, when that big reversal came, I just got nervous on my conviction, and I sold out of it. And of course, we saw what happened and yesterday and the day before yesterday, and now I kicked myself because I had made the right call on it, but just wasn't convicted in keeping it.
I actually don't think that's too terrible of a trade, Marcus. But it's
Yeah,
but
it
good
could have been a
good
big win.
conviction.
Yeah, it could have been a big win.
Morning, Elaine. Sorry for being a little late this morning. But yeah, I've got a good trade that then I turned into a trash trade. So I bought the S triple Q puts yesterday and got to ride those for a
Ooh.
nice profit on that turnaround on Nasdaq. And then I got greedy and I went back and I bought some QQQs that expired today. Um, they
Oh
were they were
no.
they were at the money. So I did save my account yesterday, but the good Lord's asking me to give that money back.
Yeah, no. Sometimes it's after like our greatest trades sometimes, and the greed. I feel you, man. You're not alone.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, Twan, do you make bad trades? I've never actually known you to make a terrible trade.
What I do is I was gonna say something with the Home Depot thing. I called that and I played the put, but I will say I be getting out too early. I be getting scared. I be getting nervous because like I told y'all when I first met y'all, I lost a lot of money when I didn't know what I was doing. So like when I be winning real good, I just get nervous. So I pulled out too early on my Home Depot put that I had been calling since Friday. And last week I had a put on Apple when Apple dropped, and I pulled out too early. So I consider those bad trades because even though I made profit, I didn't make what I was supposed to make because of just being nervous.
Wow. You know what? I do that too. You're not alone. And hey, at least you're locking in profit. That's what people always say. It's like, yo, nobody ever complained about profit. A little profit, a lot of profit, but it's profit nonetheless. But on the tax side, I'm super with you. Just wanting to like maximize the trade. So I'll give it to you.
Hey
Yeah.
Elaine, I guess. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, I work during those hours, like the main hours that I trade. So like I can't really look at it like I want to. So I just be like, I'm up, let me get out because I might have to do something or whatever like that. And I would hate to go back to my phone and look at it and it's over.
Facts. I do shit. That's the one I be doing all the time. Just doing stuff while I'm in the middle of a trade. Hey, Suki.
Yeah, quickly, just sorry. So my trash trade would have been what I told you about. I was up at one point on ETC last week. It's an Ethereum Classic crypto, and I was up 800 within like five minutes, and then I kind of didn't realize that I should have just booked that gain. Um, Expected it to keep going up, and then within like the next 2 hours, I was down 500. So my bad. So now I'm just very, very cautious with anything I'm doing on that space. But on the upside, I did tell you about Matic, Matic, and it's up
Uh-huh.
25% since yesterday. I just put a little bit in there just to kind of try and, yeah. So add it to your watch list. Apparently, they're supposed to be creating some, you know, a faster version of an Ethereum network. So that the company seems to have a market cap of 5 billion at the moment. But somebody tipped me off, said it could go up as much as 10 to 20 billion, if they can deliver on that promise.
Yeah, there's actually some really interesting crypto news. I'm into Matic. I know some people who are already sort of creating tokens on that chain. And I don't know if anybody's heard about like Internet Computer Token,
Yeah,
which are
that went
that
up to like a 45 billion market cap, right? And they only started on Monday. I read
and it
about that.
yeah, that's kind of a big one. So there's like some pretty huge amounts of froth going on right now, and I think it all has to do with Bitcoin dominance. Like when we see Bitcoin dominance down like this, it means there's a lot of money for people to just throw around into other things. And like, yeah, this thing just came out. I don't even know exactly what it does, other than it is allowing people to participate in the blockchain network. And I don't know.
How vague.
I, you know what? I'm still trying to get into like the difference between a lot of blockchains and the smart contracts allowed inside of them, and the validation and what makes things better. But this is so new. Like I don't this was not even on my radar. And yeah, it has a huge market cap almost immediately.
I think it's
Um,
down though the last 2 days.
I saw it last night too. I was buying some stuff and I said, "What is this? This came out the woodworks."
I never heard of this. Yo, wait till you guys see the aftermarket therapy today, though. I picked some like fun small coins. Australian Safe Shepherd I was talking about yesterday. Um, ticker ass. Anyways, let's talk about stock news because good Lord knows nobody's here to hear us talk about crypto, or maybe they are. What do I know?
Yeah,
Who's
my
got
bad.
news? No, you're fine. Anybody got news that they're looking at that they find to be pressing or a big deal?
How you feel about Fubu? Y'all looking good.
You mean Fubo?
Yeah. How you
Uh, I'm not gonna lie. I'm thinking about gas prices, man. Like that's where my whole head and heart is at right now. Fubo had a great day. I'm super bullish on Fubo TV in general, especially the amount of streaming rights they have. Uh, their EOY target is continuing to go up. Original content, yes. Uh, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I can't really think of a reason why you wouldn't think that they're going to continue to go up. And this is all like gambling. They're going to add some place for you to gamble just straight from your TV, in app. So if that doesn't make somebody bullish, I don't know what will. 133% year over year growth in 2020, advertising revenue, in a high double digit rate. That's what they're expecting in 2021. So far, they're moving it, and they just have an ability to target users in a very specific way, much like a Netflix. I think the advertising revenue is going to continue to come in. It's moving away from TV and it's moving towards these streaming opportunities. And Roku is looking like one of the biggest ones so far, especially for adults. So with that said, like this is a growth stock. This is a tech stock. I'm not like I don't know. I need to see the overall market do something different. Like I just don't want to trade things when I'm seeing I mean the Nasdaq is down 1.3% now. S&P kind of coming up, but yeah, I'm good. I'll wait. I'll wait. That's how I feel about Fubo. Like I'll wait. I'll wait for a good opportunity. Like I'm not trying to hold this anything. How do you feel about it? Are you hopping in? Are you buying the dip right now?
Nah, when I saw it yesterday, when I saw the news yesterday and I saw how it spiked up, I thought about you because you've been championing it for a while up here. And
Uh,
I was like, I know Stock Mom is killing it right now.
no, I mean fair enough. Yeah. I mean I don't hold things all that long. I mean I've kind of showed or talked about the things that are in my long term portfolio right now, and it is mostly commodities. Like I'm
Okay.
not playing around with this copper trade. I'm not playing around with steel. I'm dead serious. That's what's making me like not red. Honestly, that is it. Timken Steel is making me okay. It's fucking Freeport. Like it's that sort of stuff. Nucor. Um, okay. national
I got a
average of
couple
retail
things.
gasoline prices are already above $3 a gallon. More than 1,000 gas stations on the southeast have run out of fuel. Crude processors are also being forced to reduce run rates, while refiners are booking ships to store growing fuel stockpiles. Very interesting. Emergency shipments of gas and diesel from Texas are on the way to the southern cities via trucks. And the White House did relax some environmental rules so that they can bring more fuel. The DOT is considering a waiver of the Jones Act to permit foreign tankers to transport gas and diesel to East Coast ports. And I don't know. We're kind of seeing something monumental happen. I don't know if you guys follow me on Twitter or saw that thing about the group that did this hack. They were like, we're gonna start telling these short sellers about the hacks that we do before they even happen now. That's like a terrifying thought that that's what's like that somebody just has that much power over such a key part of our system, of our infrastructure. And that they're kind of gonna gamify it and like give it to short sellers like that's nuts. I don't know. Does anybody have anything to say about that? And I guess I can say on the heels of that, um, security companies like Cisco are
I
running
just want to say,
right
if
now.
we're sticking it to the man, can I get in on like what we're shorting? I want to short. I want to play the game.
I mean, I'm gonna play the game too, but like, what happens when whatever some like
Can I ask if
larger
anybody is
section of
morally above this? Like, is anybody like, I'm not going against the United States right now? I can't take any traits. Like, I won't do it. Like, for me, I'm like, I'm the first person jumping in if I can find it. Like, if I see it, I'll let y'all know.
Yeah, let me know. I'm interested. I'm interested.
Like, yo, I am down to run this up. Patrick, talk to us, man. You have gas stations.
We're doing great. In all honesty, obviously, just to make sure, just this is just more of a PSA for me, just because of the industry and my family's in. Please report anyone you see gouging gas prices at gas stations, guys. It's a serious crime. Please do it. I only say that too because we live in Florida and I see it every year when there's a hurricane and some gas station tries to take advantage of the situation. But no, so gas is going to be tricky. It's mostly affecting. We're noticing more the Mid Atlantic Northeast area down here in Florida. We're pretty okay, just for the most part, because we've got Miami, Jacksonville, Tampa, and Houston right across the Gulf. So it's not too bad here. Um, we are seeing prices increases. I'm not seeing as many lines as you're seeing in other parts of the country where they're showing that on the news, but I am definitely seeing people, fill up. We're definitely getting people topping off tanks, all that kind of stuff, trying to prep just in case something happens. But um, I'm like Elaine, and you, Chris. I'm playing oil right now. I'm playing FCX. I'm playing steel, copper, commodities. I'm trying to find some exposure to lumber I like, but that's what's saving my port right now. And I'll even be honest. I can tell you right now, about 30% of my trading portfolio right now is in XLE, and I'm just super bullish.
I like that. I love the XLE trade. I did want to say that we had some other numbers come in. The consumer prices numbers 4.2. If we talked about that and I was completely missing it while I was looking at that, from the expected 3%. I mean, it was up 3% over the year.
Yeah,
Um,
no, that's what we were talking about.
okay, yeah. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about is the copper trade, right? Where was I reading it at? May 10th. The CME Group announced record copper options volume. That's nuts.
Hey, real quick, sorry, Chris. You might have already gone over it in your oil talk, but did you cover the pipeline that was damaged in Israel because of the attacks?
Feel free to elaborate on it. I was talking about the attacks a little bit, but go ahead.
Oh, I don't know. I just know what I sent you and talked to you about yesterday. I haven't really been able to find anything. Maybe Elaine knows or someone else knows. Please let me know what the actual effect of that could be, because I can't. It's a state-owned pipeline, but I'm not sure the level of importance of it in that region.
Nope, I don't know either. I saw people talking about it, and I like it. I haven't really done the DD. I don't want to speak.
Yeah, I was in a room yesterday, and they were talking about it, like the attacks, but they never really talked about anything more than just the attacks themselves, what the effects are going to be. But yeah, I plan on watching that all day today.
All right, yeah. If I see anything, I'll make sure to get it to you and Stock Mom, so you guys can get it out to the group.
Yeah, I'm interested. So in other news, uh, Sinovac Biotech Limited's vaccine is wiping out COVID-19 among health workers in Indonesia. Um, the vaccine has a 98% efficacy for severe cases and 96% efficacy to stop people from hospitalizations as soon as 7 days after the second dose. They're seeing a drastic drop of hospitalizations, and really, what I want to know more um, is how it's doing in some of the whatever worst hit countries like Brazil. So they have this in Brazil right now, and it's at about 50% efficacy. Wow, interesting. Okay, so different. This is just being approved, and there are a number of places that use this shot, and they're still kind of reporting just how effective it's going to be overall. This is such an interesting thing. I can't believe these things are having like different rates already between different countries. That's kind of impressively weird. And even more scares me to what's really going on in India. I really, yeah, and that's also part of the demand thing, right? Like a lot of demand comes from India. It's a humongous population of people that has, whatever, all the things of a modern civilization. So they consume a lot of products, a lot of fuel, and right now they're just going through it very consistently. Outside of that, Italy considering further $121 million cash injection for their uh, Alacia. It's Alitalia. Uh, sorry, a airline company, right? So it's just to say that airlines are still struggling. I saw a really interesting article talking about British people's confidence in economic recovery versus the rest of the world. So apparently, 54% of Brits think that 53% expect a stronger economy in the next 3 months, compared with 51% in the U.S., 30% in Sweden, 24% in Germany, 19% in France, and 10% of people in Japan think things will get better. I guess everybody else is reading the news. Um, how do you guys feel about our economic recovery today? And how are you expecting it to play out on a global scale? If anybody has a take on that, I'd love to hear it. You kind of know me; I'm pretty doom and gloom today.
What? I'm sorry. I'm still reading news as it comes out. Okay. Chevron shuts down and depressurizes Tamar natural gas platform off Israel coast in accordance with instructions received from Ministry of Energy. How about that, Patrick?
Sorry, you got to repeat that. I was reading news.
That's exactly what I was doing. Chevron shuts down and depressurizes Tamar natural gas platform off Israel coast in accordance with instructions received from the Ministry of Energy.
Wow, that's actually a pretty big deal. I mean,
Right, and we were just talking about that. Like literally, you were just asking, what are the effects going to be? Well, here we go. It starts.
right. So,
Hey, go ahead. Sorry.
no, go ahead, Elaine. Go ahead, Elaine. No, go ahead.
I'm looking at news too that I want to that's different. Finally, Inovio finally coming through with some like an actual freaking vaccine that's effective. This was my dark horse in the COVID vaccine race, and I'm happy to see them finally running pre-market. It's like a $6, $1.4 billion market cap company, and they don't need cold storage or anything, so I'm kind of bullish on them. Anyways, go ahead, you guys.
No, I'm loving that. I'm just looking at the UVXY price right now, and I'm trying to count the money right now.
Is anybody concerned about Kathy Wood's prediction about a correction in commodities?
No.
Nope.
I didn't either.
Why are we like that?
I mean, because people think they're brilliant for saying that there's going to be a correction. It's just like,
But
okay,
I
and
mean,
like,
yeah,
so what?
so
Whereas,
what? But
like,
the
this is
money's gonna
such a
get made.
huge price increase. Yeah, the money's going to get made, and it's like, I'll believe you the day when people stop eating copper for things.
Right,
Right.
and my thing
Right.
is like, yo, and we already know the next move right after this. Like, all these materials are gonna go up. Everything is just super expensive. The real estate market is gonna crash right after this, and it's gonna be so easy to play that. And it's just like, so what? As soon as that happens, because we're short term, I'm just gonna trade what matters.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I don't know. I mean, so I'm not necessarily. I mean, the market. I don't. I mean, I don't know. I trade the stock market, but it's like as a trader and stuff like that, and like my long term conviction is pretty tough. But like more than anything, like what happens if there? Why? What would cause a commodities market crash?
People stop buying.
Yeah,
How do
basically.
people stop buying things that fix infrastructure?
Right.
Like when do you?
I don't
At
know.
what point do we not need steel?
Right, the government is allocating money out for infrastructure.
Well, it's also private business. Like, at what point do you think cities are just going to stop building things?
No, I just think at some point it becomes too expensive, especially with the unemployment numbers that we have. That if the government is not continuously printing money, that people aren't going to be able to afford that. And at that point, it crashes, and then the buyers come in. Like, it's a cyclical thing.
No, no, no,
It's going to
Chris.
happen.
Like,
Yeah,
fair.
but
Well, go ahead, Marcus. Sorry.
no, but
I think it
sorry.
was Patrick.
Yeah, but Chris, no, I understand what you're saying there, but I think to Elaine's point is, like, yes, I don't think you could see a commodities market crash, mainly because commodities have been kind of beaten up, the past couple of years. They've had a really booming moment now, and we're going through all this infrastructure thing. I think you might see small pullbacks in certain commodities, but I also think a lot of these commodities are pretty scarce, and the rate at which we're going to need them into the future, like Elaine was saying, is not slowing down. It's increasing, especially as you get some less advanced developed countries kind of skipping the industrial revolution, so to speak, and jumping into the what we all thought was Back to the Future with flying cars, and I still miss my hoverboard type thing. So I think there might be a small pullback in commodities here and there, but I think you're in for at least I'm going to say a 10-year, air quoting here, lightly saying, super cycle.
Yeah, I fully agree. Where did semiconductors come from? Like, where are all these electric cars going to be made out of? Like the
Yeah.
frames of them. Like, and especially the infrastructure for this, whole national charging station thing. Like, there is, I don't know. And so if there was a crash and like cities can't afford to buy things to increase their like oh we're all bullish on 5G, right? Like 5G requires something to be made and put into place. It's not like we just wave our hands and all of a sudden there's 5G. And commodities and materials are the heart of that. So um if there was like a crash like, so the last time lumber futures crashed was in March when the pandemic happened, and like if you look at it goes straight down. I, it was a concerning chart. Same thing with oil. Same thing with all of the things. Like they went straight down, and that had huge effects on the profitability and ability of companies to maneuver in the first place. And we already have all of the oil companies all took on debt, right? Now they're increasing dividends. They're trying to pay back that debt. But if we had like a commodities crash, I don't know. I guess I need to read more and see what the hell she's talking about. I also know that Kathy Woods has been gobbling up Palantir and crypto things left and right. So I mean, she's always just going to be kind of like a controversial picker, and I'm not mad at that, to be honest. Like that's her kind of her calling card. Um, let's see. Shopify backed Global e-Prices IPO at $25 trading commences today. That's cool. Shopify has just been such a gainer. Lemonade stock slumps after Q1 loss comes in wider than expected. I don't know who else is. I'm like very bullish on Lemonade. I don't have a position in there yet. But like Lemonade is supposed to be changing the way that we deal with insurance on any sort of basis. Kind of like what Rocket Mortgage did in terms of just making it easy to do on your app. And Yeah. Oh, they had a gap loss per share, and it was worse than the consensus estimate. However, this is a growth stock. They're kind of doing infrastructure, and not only that, but it's like it's an insurance thing. So I know that they're scaling out their platform to add different types of insurance, like renters insurance, and I don't know specific like. I think that they will continue. They've been boosting their full year revenue forecast, and still saying they're going to be at a loss, which means they're investing in their company. I guess is my point. It's not like they don't make money at all. They're making revenue to the tune of 130 million. What are they going to actually spend that thing on and become the future? This is just a new company that I'm kind of really interested in following the story. Lucid Motors won't commit to 20,000 electric cars in 2022. I would love to hear Alex's take on this, to be honest, because part of the Lucid Motors thing is that they're expecting to completely scale. Um, by 2024, I believe, right? It was like 2.6 billion they're expecting to make off of whatever, just pure car sales, and they haven't dropped a car yet. So they're definitely almost fully reserved, even though the reservations are not binding. And I'm just kind of curious about how that thing is going. Out of all the CEOs, Peter Rawlinson is one of the best to listen to. The guy's voice sounds like complete money. But when we actually look at the ability of them to execute some of these plans, it is a tricky market. And Jesus Lord, I've just talked straight into market open. So with that said, what's on you guys' watch list for today? Chris, what are you looking at?
I was trying to get Alec and Alex in here to talk about Lucid because you brought it up, but I'm watching Oil and UVXY.
Oh, I'm down for a lucid take. Hey Alec, good morning. How you doing, man?
I am swamped. That's why I haven't been on lately. But I hope everyone is well. And what kind of lucid take do you want, Chris?
It wasn't me. It was Elaine. You want to run the question again?
No. I was just talking about Lucid. So they're saying they won't commit to 20,000 electric cars in 2022, and talking about the scaling of their production capabilities, because by 2024 they're supposed to be pulling in a significant amount of revenue on this. Uh, Obviously, we've seen a price drop since then, just because we can't get solid numbers. And even during Alex's interview, there's like no solid numbers, or solid release date. How does that make you feel? Are you feeling?
From a
I don't know.
long term
Yeah,
perspective, I'm not super worried. I think obviously the world's going through a lot right now. I mean, the semiconductor shortage, all that kind of stuff. I mean, now oil pipelines are getting hacked. I mean, all sorts of crazy stuff's going on. So, from a long term perspective, um, I'm not super worried about that. But from a short term perspective, in terms of trading it, I'd probably point the machine gun to the downside.
fair enough. That's kind of how I feel as well. Um, wow, the news is just crazy right now. Uh,
SNDL is running, by the way. I don't really know why.
that is a Thanks for that. All right, you guys, let's do a watch list and get the hell out of here and trade some stonks. Chris, what's on your watch list for today?
Price and change before it really goes up.
UVXY.
Yeah, okay, I'm into that. Marcus, what's on your watch list for today?
I was just looking at XLE real quick here, see if I can take a position since it pulled back the other day.
I love that. Also, XL, yeah, XLE is the one right now. Um, hey Suki, is there anything on your watch list for today?
Probably same as Marcus, looking at XLE actually. So I've not had any position or exposure to commodities, so I'm going to start looking into that space.
We love commodities.
Yep.
It is a piping hot trade though right now, so the entry is pretty crucial. Patrick, what's on your watch list for today? Oh man, this man is deep into the matrix right now. Oh, hey,
Sorry, no, couldn't get off mute. It wasn't working. XLE, XLF. I also look to at XLB, and then I'm also going to start to maybe look at some midsummer tan and end phase calls.
I love that. Tuan, What's on your watch list for today, man? Are you still sitting on you chewing on it for now?
I was gonna sit on my hands, but I'm gonna play XLE with y'all.
I'm not mad at that. Hey Fahim, good morning, man. Yo, nice new car.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Patch is gone.
Sorry, I'm going for a dog walk, and he's getting ready to attack someone. I'll just listen in for now.
All good. For me, same as everybody, I guess. Oxy, Apache. On another side, I think I will be also sort of. Hmm. That Fubo chart is ridiculous. I might even
I
look.
told you. I
I'm not,
told you.
but I might even look to short it. Like that is a hellified jump gap up over the night. It's already
Yeah.
falling. Like this might be a good short to be honest.
Yeah.
Um, just for a little while, just till like $18. If it falls below $20, I'll hop in for a short for a second. And hmm, I'll add like I think the gambling stocks are also kind of having a decent past day. So DraftKings kind of bounced yesterday, looking to the upside. Same thing with like Caesars kind of doing the same thing. I don't know. I even think Skills is like at a pretty amazing discount right now. So I'll probably be looking at those along with the other commodity plays. Timken Steel will make me rich, and that's my plan. Yeah. So
Wait,
with that,
Elaine, sorry,
yeah,
very quick one. Are you looking at Glencore by any chance? Does that come up on your watch list?
I'm not. What's the ticker?
Glencore is GLNCY. This, I mean, just looking at the charts, it's up 19% in the last 3 months, 9% in the
Whoa.
last week. And it's, I mean, it's a legit company. I mean, it's been around.
It's one of Bill Clinton's buddies' companies. He gave the guy a pardon. That company out of Switzerland, right?
Yeah.
Whoa.
I mean, it's metal, mineral, energy, agricultural commodities. So since we're talking about commodities, it might be one to add to
Yeah,
the list.
absolutely. I'm gonna do some DD. I mean, that's the cool part about commodities. Like a lot of these companies are so reasonably priced.
Exactly. Yep.
19% takes us from like $7 to $9, and it's like I just don't think. Okay, so the all-time high was $11. This is an interesting one. I'm gonna check it out. We've got some room to run. Anybody else have any last ones to throw in there?
I just want to throw out CLF real quick. It
For
runs
sure.
with steel. Sorry.
No, Cleveland Cliffs is a winner for me for sure too. That's one of the ones. With that said, hey Chris, do you want to do affirmations today?
Sure. I'm gonna do affirmations today. Actually, for people who aren't gonna trade, because it is, a red day. So let's get into it. I have enough self-control to be patient. Cash is a position, and if that position allows me to buy the dip, then I've made the most out of that position. I care about protecting my investment. In that moment, I'm protecting my family. I will protect my future. I will protect their future. I like winning. I hate losing more. Patience allows me to avoid losing. I am the master of my emotions. I am the master of myself. I have the power to control my destiny. Happy trading, everybody.
Guys, have a good one.
When you said I like winning, I felt that shit, Chris. That was the part for me.
Yeah, it'd be like that. It really does.
I hope you guys have a great day.
Have a good one,
Thanks,
everyone. Take
everyone.
care.
All right, guys. We'll see you guys this evening. 7 o'clock. Remember, we'll be on Benzinga. Come hang out. We're gonna talk some more crypto. That being said, this is Stackhouse U, and we are out.